Welcome back. This is Across the Board with E and the Colonel on Hawk Radio, hawkradio.org, and really excited about this interview. This is, and I'm saying it right here for everyone in the world, because we broadcast internationally through the internet. This is my new favorite up-and-coming band for sure, A Moment's Worth. Check them out. And on the line right now we have Alex and Anthony. Guys, are you there?
How you doing, man?
Hey.
We're doing.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I said, the way we found out about you was we put out to our listeners, hey, what are some of the bands that you want to hear on here? We got A Day to Remember and Filter. We have Modest Yahoo coming up in this moment. All these bands, Yellow Card and that type of thing. And one of my friends, one of our loyal listeners said, hey, I'm checking out this band, A Moment's Worth. You've got to listen to them and see what you think. Pulled up the website, and if anybody goes to their website at momentsworth.com, the player immediately starts playing your new album and got hooked. And I've been listening to it nonstop ever since, man. So we said we got to get them. So now she actually got your album on a boardwalk locally in Ocean City, Maryland. You guys actually, were out there with a street team and promoting your own album. How are you getting the word out now?
Basically just, playing shows, internet promotion, MySpace, trying to connect with all our fans. But,
yeah,
go ahead.
It's been really cool because the fans actually do a lot for us, and we generally don't ask them to, which is really cool. Like being like how you even heard about the band through Kim. So that's always been a cool part of just making good friends out of the fans that we've had, is that they've kind of spread the word for us, and it's just been spreading kind of organically. Like we just do our best to make the music and make a genuine connection with the people that are our fans. We try, we build friendships on that, and I think that's generally like how word gets out about the band.
Now, a little background about you guys. You're all from the Bronx, right?
Yep.
Good old New Yorkers there, great. And again, we're broadcasting on the internet, so people can hear you in the Bronx, they can hear you in Maryland, they can hear you in China, anywhere. So we're getting you out there for everybody. Now, I've read that some of your inspiration are bands such as No Effects, Green Day, Less Than Jake. By the way, we will be having Less Than Jake on our show in late January. They're playing a show nearby in Baltimore. But who else inspires you? What makes you guys write day to day?
A lot of stuff. Right now we're listening, well, for me at least, I went to a live Gaslight Anthem, the new Jimmy World. I was trying to call you out. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, you cut out. No, you go.
I heard. For me, it's been honestly just going to live shows really inspires me. Like, I've recently seen The Frames live. I don't know if but ever since I saw that movie once, I found out about the Swell season and the Frames. Like, very cool songwriting, just very down to earth, very honest. But seeing them live was like a huge eye opener for me, as far as like just finding out like what music and remembering what music can really make you feel like. And it just takes me back to the days when I used to go to like Goldfinger shows and just really love that live performance and connecting with the fans. So I think lately for me, it's just been that live aspect of seeing the band that really, really has inspired me to write.
Now, I've listened to a little bit of it. Excuse me. I haven't heard everything, but I have listened to your self-titled album, and I got to tell you, there was a lot of stuff in there I really thought was pretty deep. Can you explain the background of the self-titled album?
The background of it?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I a lot of it comes from
album as well, because
yeah.
Well, you tell them.
That album for me was I don't know. It's always hard for me to talk about my music because there's a big difference between sitting there and writing the songs and what you feel when you're writing those songs, and then actually trying to put those feelings in words other than the song, if that makes sense, So it's based on a lot of what I read, a lot of what I feel. I was reading a lot of philosophy during the time, and just looking at my life in a very, very introspective way and questioning, just starting to ask those questions like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? And what's the purpose of our lives? Things like that I've really tried to spend some time with, in addition to just making music with the guys and just feeling what, the words that the music kind of pulls from you. I think that's kind of generally the approach that we always take, whatever's going on in our lives, whatever that's influencing us as far as music or books or, and just the dynamic of the band that really pulls the music from us. But it always comes from a very personal, deep place with the band.
Now, most of your albums, and I believe even your new one, I know at least Sleepless and your earlier albums, were actually recorded and produced by the guitarist. Is it Nicola? Yeah. Is that how you say that? Yeah. So talk about that. I mean, I never would have known that. I never would have guessed, it was just the guitarist from the band doing that. I mean, they are absolutely professionally produced and recorded. Beautiful sound. So talk a little bit about that.
You want to tell them about Nick?
Yeah, well, first of all, Nick's the guy that I think everyone knows one that knows how to do everything. He can fix anything. He can, if something's wrong with your car, like, he's always been good with that. We've always been friends with him from when we were younger, and he recorded the first CD for us. And
before he was in the band.
Yeah, before he was in the band. The Ironic Last Word. And, it just came out awesome. We had a great time doing it. And we just, stuck with it. By the time we got the self-titled one, we added him and Johnny, bass player. And, it's just been great. We just vibe when we're writing and when we're recording. It's just we're always on the same page. And, he knows, how Alex sings, how I play guitar, and it just clicks. And it's just been like a blessing because it saves us a lot of money because recording is not cheap. And we can devote as much time as we want on these albums.
Now, I have listened to every song that you guys have. Again, if you go to their website at momentsworth.com, you can listen. There's a media section. You can listen to every song streaming that they've put out, and I love them all. I literally have listened to every song. Really, actually, you have one of my favorite song titles on there. One of the albums off of your self-titled album, one of the songs on there is actually called Memories Meet Dynamite. I dig that. But let's talk a little bit about, Alex, you said it, it's tough, for you to talk about your songwriting sometimes, but, I think it's definitely worth mentioning that you guys, at least going over your website and, your bios and the things we've read about you, you seem so grounded, so, your family, your friends, and your fans seems like, more important to you than anything, and it really comes out in your lyrics. You talk about stuff, positive. Everything's upbeat, overcoming life's obstacles. It's sort of when I was listening to your music, there were two kind of quotes that came to mind. And one was, tough times don't last, tough people do. And another was that we are a product of our experiences. Some people say, bad things happen to us, but a lot of people say that's what makes us who we are. And that's what I got out of your music. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I think the biggest things for me that kind of shaped my experiences personally, and I can't speak beyond, on behalf of the whole band, but for me personally, it was I moved here at a young age and from another country, from Russia, and just watching my family, kind of struggle. It was just my parents, my sister, and we literally had nothing. Like, my dad had to start his career over washing dishes. It was really tough times, but that ultimately drew my family closer together. And the four of us were always really tight. And because of that, I started, I think, in my growing up process, while I was experiencing all that, just appreciating relationships a lot more, building friendships on things that are more lasting. And I think, as much as my life, has influenced me, that comes out through in the music. I just think I'm really grateful for what I have been able to do with the band. The band is like an extension of my family to me. I've known these guys forever. And also the other cool thing is, when I know Anthony's going through something, or when I know Nick is going through something, like Memories Meet Dynamite was actually a song about a relationship that somebody in the band had with a person they loved that didn't go the way they imagined it would. And though it wasn't my own experience, I felt very much for the friend that was going through that and wrote a song about it in that way. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, empathy, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, so I guess those are the kinds of things that I really want to bring forth in the music, is that that there are challenges in life. Times are tough a lot, but it's really worth it to just kind of keep your head up and know that you can and you will get through this.
Now, I have to say, you guys really talk about how you appreciate what your fans do for you. You think of the band as family. Now, if I remember correctly, I heard somewhere that you have actually incorporated the fans into your new album, Start Where You Are. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And how did you go about doing that?
We had an open studio. Well, we have our own studio, our recording space, where a bunch of bands practice. And what we did was we put a message out. And, whoever wants to come and do some, backup vocals. We have a lot of group vocals on the new CD that kids came in and did. They all wrote their names down. They got credit on the booklet on the inside, and they just really got to hang out with us. We ordered pizza. We made like a day event out of it. It was really, I feel like it really strengthened our bonds with there's 15, 20 kids that came through.
What type of songs, which songs in particular, I guess, did people collaborate on? One of the ones that I listened to that I thought, this might be, a collaboration of some sort is Rule Number 1. Is that one that's involved?
Yep. Yeah. So that chant at the end, where you hear the crowd singing, "Whose side are we on?" Those were the kids that came in that day to sing that part, as well as favorite song, the outro of that song where the words are "I want to go back one time." The group vocals behind that. If you listen to the CD, actually, we just have a lot of guest appearances and guest vocals from our friends that are also part of bands that are in the studio that we have. So they all were like, "Yo, man, I think your voice would be awesome for this part," and they would jump in and try it. So that was really cool.
Now, I really also like the cover of the Sleepless EP. I had to ask, whose eye is that?
That's actually my eye. Yeah, that's my eye. My girlfriend took that picture of me because we were just trying to think of different concepts for it, and then that was something we played around with. Yeah.
I really dig the concept of that with with the figures, the silhouettes, and I think it's really, really cool.
It's definitely no pun intended. It's eye catching. I agree. It's cool. Now your new album is Start Where You Are.
Yep.
It's available on iTunes. In fact, all of your albums that I found are actually available on iTunes. And your website is a moment's worth. How else can people keep in touch with, what's the latest with you guys? Where are you playing, shows and everything? I know you're playing with Hawthorne Heights coming up, so let's talk a little bit about what's coming up and how people can stay in touch with you.
Yeah, so that show with Hawthorne, we're playing another show out in Brooklyn at this place called The Water Girl with a couple of touring bands in December. We're going to do a video for that song Dedicate off of Start Where You Are. And like with everything we do, we're going to get our fans involved. So just, check the website. The best thing is actually if kids want to sign up for our mailing list, that's where all the latest comes in. We send out free songs every week or every other week, and they get exclusive demos that you don't hear on the albums. They get alternate versions that we didn't put on CDs. Sometimes we'll just we had this song that we never released or the song that we're working at that we'll send just to our mailing list. So in addition to that's how kids can find out about the latest shows coming up. And that's just amw.fanbridge.com.
Cool. We'll definitely sign up for that as well. Now, I know you said, it's really cool now because you're touring with bands like Hawthorne Heights or playing shows with them. And there are bands that you grew up listening to. What's a big band that you grew up listening to, that you really looked up to that you would love to play a show with? Like your ultimate, tour mate, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead, Ant. You do that one.
Ultimate tour mate? Oh, man. I still have to say probably the Goldfinger, man. Get on the bill with Goldfinger would be pretty cool. They really shaped the way, the music you listen to. It all started from no effects, big old school punk, and then Goldfinger was kind of like they threw the ska mix into it, and their live show is awesome. They're a cool band to play with live. It's legendary. Every time I see them, they just blow my mind. But they just look like they'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're. I've actually seen both of those bands play before. I saw Goldfinger play out in California several years ago, and you're right, they have an incredible live show. So
yeah, how much fun are their shows, man?
Yeah, they're amazing. You know, it's the kind of band you can see every weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and a big shout out to Kim Lebeski for putting us in touch with you.
Yeah, Kim, thank you so much.
Yeah, I know she's listening. So definitely amomentsworth.com. Please, please, please go and listen to this band. Everybody that I've told to check out your website ahead of time, everybody's listening to it, and like, these guys are amazing. So you're still up and coming, I know, at this point, but across the board and Hawk Radio are 100% behind you, and you're one of those bands that you guys definitely have amazing talent. You have great songs out now that are catchy. They're positive. You just need the right break to get out there, and I'm glad we could get you when you're still up and coming. You're going to be national soon. Too big for us, so we appreciate it.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Anytime. Thank you so much, E.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, again, this has been A Moment's Worth. Alex and Anthony, we appreciate it, guys. And this is Across the Board with E and the Colonel on Hawk Radio.
HawkRadio.org.